Very much, Dr. Thun. I can agree. The Big Short is a great movie and you should watch it. And indeed, we're talking about a treasure trove of knowledge, if I'm not mistaken. So, I will be welcoming our next guests, Rainer Hoffmann and Caroline Hirsch from EnBW. And we're going to talk about how EnBW utilizes data and AI trainings to upskill its employees and enable cross-divisional work. Rainer Hoffmann is Senior Manager of Data and AI at EnBW, and Caroline Hirsch is Manager at EnBW as well. Thank you.
So, yeah, we already talked about how important data is, but more important than data, as we think, is having people that know how to analyze this data. And this is what we're going to talk about in the next 15 to 20 minutes and explain why we think that upskilling people is important and how our approach is and our first learnings about this. So let me start with this picture on the right. A survey by O'Reilly found that one of the main bottlenecks at holding back further AI adoption is not the data, it's not the tooling, but it's people that are skilled enough to work with the data, to analyze the data, and draw insights from this data. And this is some challenge, of course, also we as a company face, and which is why we made it one big thing to make training programs and to help with this. So the goal of our training program that we're going to explain in the next 15 minutes is, first of all, of course, to close the skill gap that we have, to bring our data analysts, to bring our data scientists and data engineers at a similar level. Also, to hold our employees, and thirdly, to reduce the dependency on external staff. We created a program to address this challenge, and this program is aiming at professionals. So we're not taking basic AI trainings here, where you buy, I don't know, some of them are here, StackFuel and so on, LinkedIn Learn and whatever they're called. But we're looking at top data engineers, top data scientists, top data analysts that are already in the field, but we want to make them even better. And we looked out there, we searched for a program, searched for partners that would do exactly this program with us. We didn't find one. So we had to come up with our own program, and we had some beliefs on how this program should be. First of all, we believed that we need some sort of individual development of participants. So we didn't choose such a boot camp learning because everyone is different. Everyone at this level comes with different experience, different skills, and they all know what's best for them. So basically, we gave them some budget, and we had many, many talks with them on what they think, where they want to be in 2 to 5 years, and what are the skills that they need. And then they were just free to go. Take any course, go to any conference, worldwide, whatever you want to do, take the money, do whatever you think is best for you. But first of all, challenge it with your colleagues because they also know what are good conferences or bad conferences. The second belief that we had and that we incorporated into our program was that we believed that we want some sort of community between the departments. You have to know that EnBW has different departments such as trading, the grid department, sales, marketing, operations, and they all have their own data science, data engineer teams. And we wanted to make sure that they still share a common language within the next 5 years, that they have similar experience, similar tooling that they use. So we could just say, you all have to use this tool. It's not going to work. Instead, we just make them talk to each other and find out together what the best tooling, what the best approaches are. Thirdly, with our program, we wanted to make sure that it's very inclusive and that they share some sort of commitment to take part in this program. They all spend 30% of their working time for 1 year to participate in this program. So it's a huge time commitment from them and also from their teams because someone else has to do the work, of course. But it should feel like an entitlement to be in this program, and it should be some fun. That's one thing that we made sure. And the last part is that we wanted to make sure that everyone in the program has some sort of enabling mindset. So we wanted to make sure they also share their knowledge within or after the program. And what the program actually was and what our key learnings after the first year were, Rainer Hoffmann is going to tell us.
Thank you. So what we came up with is what we call the Data Professional Development Program, which we internally call delta pi squared, delta p quadrat, because, you know, dp times tp is dp to the power of 2, which is sufficiently nerdy for our target group. So delta pi squared is our program, which is a one-year program for 20, let's say, data experts, and we'll talk about that later a bit. And the program has 4 important pillars, and we'll go through them now. The first one is the obvious one, is training. First, we offered group trainings because, as Caroline said, we have people spread across the company in different business units. They are not used to working with each other on a daily basis. So we wanted to bring them together to have joint trainings. And here you see a picture. We attended one training at the Hasso-Plattner Institute in design thinking for a couple of days. And on top of that, every participant gets his or her budget, an own budget, and can decide where this budget should be spent on. It's, you know, there is basically no limitation but the budget, and you can decide: are you going to attend the training in the US? Is it an online training and plus the conference, whatever? The only limitation is that you have to present what you're going to do to the other participants. So we're kind of a peer review function there. This is a pillar, trainings. The second pillar is community building. Again, as they don't work with each other on a daily basis, we want to bring them all together. We organized community events, community days, say every 2 to 3 months, I guess, where we bring the whole group together and, you know, evaluate how is the program going. Is there anything where you need assistance? Is there anything we need to change in the program so that it will be successful for you? And beside that, we had virtual social meetups because all these people, they work in different places in Germany, and so they had a weekly opportunity to meet virtually. The third pillar, we call them rotation or internship. We wanted the participants to experience what the work of the other participants is like. So we asked them to spend a couple of days or even weeks in another department and do like a mini internship and understand what their problems are, and maybe they can bring in their view and make suggestions how they would solve these problems. This is joint projects and internships, and we had in addition a weekly meeting which we call Deep Dive, where participants show what their daily work is, what they're currently working on, what their issues are. That's the third pillar, and the last one is external input. You have to imagine, like when you work at EnBW or start working there, you work there for a very long time. People don't like leaving EnBW, which is a nice thing. But you know, our job was to broaden the horizon. They don't get a lot of external input. So what we organized was, for example, dinner speeches with founders of companies, Ask Me Anything sessions, just to give the participants an idea what other people think about data and AI, future developments, and how they tackle the problems that we have in our company. And beside that, we also visited other companies to additionally broaden the horizon of our participants. That brings me to our lessons learned. And I would like to introduce Sophia to you. Sophia is actually the participant we wanted to have. Sophia took a course at MIT in applied data science. She attended a summer school in computer vision because she needed this in one of her projects. She attended 2 conferences and did 2 mini internships. So she really got the most out of this program. I think that might have been even more than 30% of her time, I guess. The problem is not everyone is like Sophia. What we learned was, first of all, the participants, they were not used to the degree of freedom we gave to them. In a corporate setting like EnBW, and maybe most of you share that, people are not used to having an own budget for training and deciding whatever they want to participate in. They approach us and needed help. Can you help me creating my learning path? Can you tell me trainings that are good for me? And we didn't expect that. A second learning is, maybe that's not surprising, but daily business is usually more important than learning. If there is an issue in your team, that's usually an excuse not to attend, for example, community days, because it's 30% that you spend on learning, but we are not the boss of the participants. The boss is their line manager, and if there's an issue in their team, of course they want to satisfy their line manager first. So we still don't know how to deal with that, but it is an issue. The third one is. It's phrased as a recommendation: don't focus on roles without an enterprise-wide role model. 1 year ago, when we started the first program, we looked for data engineers and data analysts. Data engineers was easy. Data analysts, people came to us, applicants, and they said, I don't know if I'm a data analyst. My contract says business analyst or IT analyst or process engineer. Am I a data analyst? So this year we got rid of the roles. We just say data experts. It makes it much easier. So if you don't have a company-wide role model, which we don't have, let loose of the roles. Another learning is that you should get managers involved in the program, because they give you 30% of their staff, of their employee, and they want to get something back in return. So what we did is we had 2 meetings with them, a virtual one in person, where we asked them, what is your view on the program? Is there anything you need? Anything we need to change? Do you have feedback for us so that we really get in touch with them and stay in touch with them, talk about what they expect from their staff, what they get back, and this is really important. And the last one is a pretty obvious one, is the organizational setup for organizing this or setting up a program is really, really large. You should spend at least, I would say, 1 full-time person on this or even more, because it's a lot of small tasks that need to be done, and if you don't have a partner that covers all that, it's a lot of work. So actually, end of September, the first cohort will be over, and the next cohort will be starting on October 1st. We will incorporate our learnings there. We are quite curious how this will be going. And I'd like to finish with a couple of quotes from our participants, something like priceless network, but actually my most favorite one is the one down here, which says, the development of my learning path was an exciting and intensive process in which I was able to benefit enormously from the exchange with the other program participants. And I think this shows really nicely how people benefited from this cross-divisional work. Okay, thank you very much.